the hardcore nature of the job marketplace. Why has it become damn near impossible to get a job, to get a better job, to actually get a promotion at work, and overall to improve your lot in life? That is a key question that may sound, I don't know, like absurd to some people. But in reality, we know it's not absurd at all. We know it's a legitimate question. Because if you've been out there in the marketplace, you know it's gotten quite difficult for most people to level up. For years you've been applying, you've been like sending applications, talking to a bunch of people, talking to these recruiters online, over the phone. They'll call you, they'll set up an appointment. There is sort of the situation of supply and demand that takes place in the job market, where you kind of ask the question, are you competing with a ton of people who just happen to have the same skill set that you have? Is that why you can't get a job? Or are you competing with people who have better skill sets, more experience, more knowledge? Or is there a supply and demand that exists elsewhere, that exists in the perception, that exists in the sort of on social media? If you take a platform like LinkedIn, where you could actually go to look up jobs, you will see a ton of jobs. One question you could ask is, are those jobs even real? Right? Are these real jobs? Are these companies even hiring right now? Or is it a psyop? Kind of feels like it could be something where those jobs are actually not real, or they're not looking for anybody right now. It's just a way for them to stack up as many potential prospects as possible, so that way they have a lineup that they can actually pick from, right? It's like, we're gonna post this job online, just gonna post it, and then we'll see how many people apply, and then if we're looking for somebody 6 months from now, then we have a lineup. It kind of feels that way a lot of times. And if let's say they were actually looking for someone right now, then they could easily pick someone. So the ease of sending the application actually skews the supply in the favor of the employer. Because as an employer now, you could get a ton of applications, and you can easily pick from those. And if you think about it, the number of people that are applying is actually more than the number of open positions. That's what I referred to earlier the other day as an employer's market. Right? The number of people that are looking for a job is a lot higher than the number of open positions. It's not always the case, but you could imagine that in a hyper competitive, a hyper efficient technological sort of work environment, these companies don't need as many people. So there's always going to be an excess supply. There's an excess supply of labor, of talent, as they call it. And we're talking about sort of like office jobs, tertiary sector type of jobs. And so if you take into account the number of people who have a college degree, who are all applying for the same jobs, all of a sudden it makes sense why you have an excess amount of labor. I think it's Mike Rowe who said that there's at least was approximately 7 million what he calls dirty jobs, manual labor jobs out there. 7 million. So that could explain why there is an oversupply of office jobs, or I mean of people looking for office jobs, and there is an undersupply of manual labor jobs. Well, because for many years they kind of told people that they need to go to college and get a college degree, when what they should have been doing is going to the trades and getting some kind of apprenticeship or something like that, some kind of trade skill, you know, as they like to say, plumbing, electrician. That's what they should have been doing. That would have been the better, smarter thing to do. Okay, and so you end up with that imbalance from a supply and demand standpoint, and so that leads to the other question that I was asking: is it impossible? Has it become impossible to get a promotion or something like that? Because again, I don't even know what the actual numbers are, which would be the first part of the equation, is to know the exact number. But I don't even know what that is. Is it? They would have to publish that information. Is it like a million? There's 1 million people applying for 200,000 jobs. So there's 5 applicants per job. That's very competitive. 5 applicants per job. Although I would even say in some cases it's more like 20. It's not even 5. 5, that's not even, I think it's more like 20, 25. Yeah, because sometimes they will show you how many people applied for a job, and it will say, 100 applicants. Like, imagine for a job, 100 people applied within like 7 days. It's not even like 100 people applied over 30 days. It's like as soon as they post it, well, it's very easy to just go on your laptop, answer a few questions, click and post. That is super easy. So I understand why. But again, that's not the favor of the person who's looking for the job. That is in the favor of the employer, because, well, you're using their platform